This episode of Boob Talk is brought to you by Niche's World, the Niche Hair Scarf Wig. It's the most comfortable wig that all women will love. Every hair scarf wig sold helps generate another hair scarf wig to be donated to a cancer patient who needs it. Miss Sipo, the owner, created the niche in memory of her beloved granddaughter Nisha, who lost her battle with cancer. For more information and to purchase a hair scarf wig, go to nichesworld.com. That's NIESHS world.com. Welcome to Boob Talk. I'm your host, Cynthia Rogers, and thank you for joining me this evening. Tonight's discussion is What's Eating You? Nutrition Support for Cancer Survivors. Our special guest is Stacy Davis, cancer dietitian, cancer nutrition coach, and owner of Flavorful Nutrition, LLC. Stacy, welcome to Boob Talk.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so glad you could be here with us for this important discussion. So, Stacy, how important a role does nutrition play for cancer survivors during and after treatment?
I think it is so important about nutrition, just because, you know, your body is going through so much stress while you're going through treatment, and even after treatment, just how everything keeps going. You know, you still have side effects after treatment. It's not like you finish and it's over. But when you're fueling your body and you're healthy, you're able to maintain your weight. You're able to maintain strong and keep your tissues and your bones healthy. It helps decrease your side effects, you know, during treatment and after. And also, sometimes they don't have to stop your treatment because, you know, you're not feeling well. You tolerate the treatment a lot better. If you have to go through surgery, nutrition is important because it helps you heal and recover faster. One of the biggest things, and I know we'll get to it later, but just your energy. You know, if you're eating healthy, it'll help you feel stronger and have more energy. So nutrition is so important. Don't listen to your doctors. I mean, I not all doctors are bad, but some of them don't have any knowledge of nutrition. So, you know, they tell patients, you know, eat what you want through treatment, but you do want to eat nutritious foods just so you are able to handle everything a lot better.
Are there certain foods that we should be eating during treatment or after treatment?
I mean, it all depends on what treatment you're going through, but my number one thing is, and I feel like I say it all the time, but focus on your fruits and vegetables. They are so important. They're full of vitamins, full of nutrients, so we really want to eat those foods that give us more energy and more stamina. We want to limit the amount of processed foods that we're eating. And our sugars, I mean, that's a whole other avenue in itself, but we want to limit the added sugars that we eat in our diet. So another one is soy. That's another, that could be a whole other topic, but soy doesn't have to be bad, but you just want to eat the whole soy. I know doctors sometimes tell patients don't eat soy at all, but if you're eating the whole soy, non-GMO soy, it is okay to have, but we want to limit our processed foods and processed soy foods that we're eating.
So you mentioned added sugars. Now,
yeah,
I've heard some people say it doesn't matter, and I've also heard that, and which is what I believe, that sugar does feed cancer. So what is your opinion about that?
So the whole thing with that is that sugar feeds the cancer cells. I hear it every single day. But just when you think about it, the food that you eat, your carbohydrates. So carbs, I know everyone has such a bad feeling about carbs, but carbs are good for you. They give you power. But your carbs are your whole grains, your fruits. And those foods break down to sugar and they feed all of your cells. Even if you're eating a cookie, it's sugar, it breaks down to sugar, and it's feeding all of your cells. Does it feed your cancer cells? Yes. Does it feed your healthy cells? Yes. But we need some sugar. But it's better to get our sugar from our fruits and our grains than the processed added sugars to the diet, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. Now, when I was going through treatment, to be honest with you, I had a hard time just eating anything healthy. For some reason, healthy foods seemed to make me sick. So, is there any type of explanation for that? I don't know, maybe if it was on the chemo regimen I was on. I was actually going through a clinical trial, but I don't know if that had something to do with it. But the only thing that I could really tolerate was macaroni and cheese and maybe soup, and that was it.
Yeah, and I always tell clients, you have to take advantage of the days that you do feel well. And if those are the foods that you were craving, if it is the mac and cheese or crackers, okay, so my thing is trying to make it healthier. So fine, you want mac and cheese. Let's go with that. So with mac and cheese, how can we make it healthier? Number one, you could use quinoa macaroni versus the plain macaroni, or you could get a protein pasta instead. You could use butternut squash to make a mac and cheese. You could use, there's another thing I'm trying to think of, but I'm having a brain fart right now. But anyway, there are ways to make it healthier that are comforting because, like you said, the mac and cheese and soup are comforting foods. They make you feel better, but it's taking what you're craving and trying to make it a little healthier. And going with it, don't beat yourself up. There will be days that you don't feel well, and there'll be days that you feel great. So you really do want to take advantage of the days that you feel good and eating.
Now, earlier you mentioned about we should be eating fruits and vegetables. So what does plant-focused nutrition entail, and what exactly, are the benefits to that?
Sure. So plant-focused nutrition, it is, to explain it, it's an umbrella. It's like a big umbrella, plant-focused or plant-based eating. And then you have different, points underneath it. Because plant-focused could mean vegan. It could mean vegetarian. It could mean pescatarian. It could be flexitarian. There are so many definitions of what plant-based could be or plant-focused. My definition of, what I work with clients on is just trying to increase your fruits and vegetable consumption, adding more nuts and seeds to your diet. People, they get diagnosed and I hear, I have to become a vegan. If that is your choice, I support it. However, it could be you're really limiting yourself. But when you're following a plant-focused diet or eating more fruits and vegetables, you're getting more phytochemicals and antioxidants, which helps support your immune system. And your fruits and vegetables have essential nutrients in it that you can't get from other food. It's better to get your vitamins and minerals from food versus from supplements. It also helps your cells, your healthy cells. We want to keep those healthy cells healthy. We don't want them to get deformed and become cancerous cells. And it also keeps your body in balance. When you're going through treatment, sometimes your white blood cell count goes down. So that means you're more at risk for infection. But if you're eating fruits and vegetables, it can help fight the infection and strengthen your immune system. And the other thing we always talk about is anti-inflammatory foods. So plant-based it's all your anti-inflammatory foods, and it helps get rid of all those free radicals. Every day we get chemicals in our body. We're breathing the air, we're drinking the water, some things we have no control over, and we're inflamed, That's why we get sick, is because our body's inflamed. So we want to eat the foods that help us reduce the inflammation in our diet. Also, following a plant-based diet, if you're doing it the correct way, you'll get more fiber in your diet. You could lose weight. You reduce your inflammation and you boost your immune system. I mean, that's what we all need right now, especially with the craziness of COVID going on. We want a strong immune system.
What foods are beneficial for inflammation?
All your fruits and vegetables, all of them are good for you. I know I have clients who tell me, my doctor told me I shouldn't eat this because it's too much sugar, or, bananas is one I hear, watermelon. They're all good for you. They're all good for you for all different reasons, just because they have all different antioxidants. in them. So we want to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. I never tell someone not to eat a certain fruit or vegetable because they're all good for you for all different reasons.
I'm just thinking now, does it matter what fruits and vegetables you eat regardless of what type of cancer you have, or are certain fruits and vegetables better for one particular type of cancer or not? Or do you know?
Not really. I mean, there are with all of us too, especially if someone who has like pancreatic cancer or has diabetes, let's just say, you don't want to eat fruit by itself. So even without diabetes or pancreatic cancer,
Stacy, are you there?
sugar, it's going to raise your sugar levels. So we don't want that to happen. But if you pair it with a protein and a fat, it's not going to raise it as much and have more insulin. So, example, apple with peanut butter, banana with peanut butter. If you wanted yogurt and strawberries, those are good combinations because sometimes, I know myself, sometimes I'll just grab a banana, you eat it, and then you're hungry again. But if you pair it together, you won't be as hungry after. Like, it'll keep you satisfied a little bit longer.
No, I never even thought about pairing food like that. So that was a very good piece of information. I had no idea. Also, I wanted to ask you, I know a lot of times during cancer treatment and even after, which affected me, is extreme fatigue. Are there certain foods that we can eat for energy?
My biggest thing that I think I say it so many times a day is drink your fluids. Dehydration is one of the biggest causes of fatigue. So making sure you're drinking enough water. I know that they say, 8-ounce glasses of water a day, but that's like serious. It's not enough usually. So usually it's about half your body weight in ounces is what you want to drink a day. So everybody is different. It's hard to just say everyone needs to drink 8 ounces a day. You have to take every person into account to see, what they are. My other thing is snacking. If you have a poor appetite or, you are fatigued, you want to make sure you're eating every few hours. And like we just said about pairing up your foods, you want to make sure you're eating a carb, a protein, and a fat together. You don't want to just eat a carbohydrate together. You just, you just don't want to. And eating just a protein, sometimes you eat it and you're hungry after. So pairing your food up, your carb, protein, and fat, it'll help you give you a little bit of energy. Also, I know this one's really hard because I know when I'm tired, the last thing I want to do is exercise. But exercise really helps with fighting the fatigue. I'm not saying you have to go to the gym and, run 20 miles. Just walking. Do something. Get your body moving. Helps with the fatigue. If we are tired and, yes, I agree. You should rest if you're tired. But if you overdo it, it's just going to make you more tired. If you're just laying in bed or laying on the couch watching movies, it makes you even more tired. So you want to be able to get up, exercise, and move. Also, sometimes it's your lab. Sometimes there is something more going on. So check your iron levels, check your B12, check your vitamin D level. See what's going on in the body because it could be that you're deficient in it.
Now, you just mentioned snacking, so I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, because when I'm tired, I find myself snacking. So should I be doing that, or should I just go to bed?
Okay, so when you talk about that, you need to listen to your body. I don't want you to snack just because just to snack. You need to know if you're hungry or not. So listening to your body, especially at night, you don't want to eat too late at night. But I like to talk about using the hunger scale. If 0 being that you're so hungry you could eat anything, and 10 being that you're It's 0 that you're so hungry, 10 being that you are full. So you want to start eating when you're about a 3, and you want to finish when you're about a 7. So going back to listening to your body if you're hungry or not. You don't want to just eat to eat.
Yes, I'm eating to eat. If I'm, say, watching a movie and I'm starting to fall asleep, I'll be like, oh, let me give myself a snack so I can stay awake. So that's bad.
That's not a good
Okay,
decision.
just
Drink
checking.
some water.
I was just asking for a friend. I just wanted to check. Okay. So
because those could be extra calories that you
right.
don't really need, you know,
Okay.
and you want to pay attention to what you're eating. You don't want to mindlessly eat it. Watching movies and mindlessly eating go hand in hand. You want to pay attention, especially if you're making food or making a snack. If let's just say you made popcorn with Parmesan cheese, because that's one of my family's favorite things to make at night. But you want to pay attention to it. You want to taste the flavors of the cheese and the popcorn, and you don't want to just sit and watch a movie and mindlessly eat. So it is better to pay attention to what you're eating at every meal. Taste all the flavors that you added to your food, because you don't want to overeat.
I also do have a problem with that. I don't take my time to eat my food. Somehow in my mind, I'm thinking it's tasting so good, and then it's just like I'm wolfing it down, and I'm not taking my time. Do you have any tips for those of us that do that?
Yeah, I mean, so you want to have like a beautiful table set. You don't want to sit in front of the TV, because that you will mindlessly eat. So if you have someone to eat dinner with, or if you're eating alone, whatever it is, you want to pay attention to what you're eating. Even when you're eating, you take your fork. I'm like, it's so weird not being able to see anyone, but if anyone was watching me, they'd see me with all these hand gestures. But when you're eating, you want to put the food to your mouth, chew. You want to put the fork down, chew your food, swallow your food, and then pick your fork back up and eat more. Because if you're holding that fork in your hand the whole time, usually you tend to shovel it in your mouth.
Yes,
you just
ma'am.
Keep going.
That's what I'm doing.
Put it down. It's okay. Drop the fork.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, and chewing your food. I know sometimes they say chew your food 20 to 30 times, but chew it. That's where your digestion starts too. So chew your food completely. You don't want to inhale it, and then swallow your food.
Got it. So do you have any tips for those of us that are struggling with just even trying to start eating healthier, period?
Yeah, I think working with a dietitian really helps, just because it's someone there to hold you accountable and someone to bounce ideas off of. And it helps you stay on track of everything. And also taking small steps. You know, listening to this or working with a dietitian or whatever it is, or saying I'm going on a diet, but I hate that word. You know, it's not an overnight thing. So let's just say soda. You drink soda every day. You drink 6 cans of soda a week. Let's just say. So now let's take small little goals, small realistic goals, SMART goals. And let's just say we're going to cut back on our soda. Instead of 6 days a week, we're going to cut it down to 5 days a week. And slowly, you know, decrease it until you get to none. Or if you only eat 1 fruit a week, there are people out there, there's some people who don't even eat fruits and vegetables, but let's just say, okay, my goal for this week is to eat 3 fruits for the week. You know, small, realistic goals, because if you set a big goal for yourself, like if you don't eat fruits and vegetables, now you're saying, well, I want to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, and you don't do it, you're going to get upset with yourself, you get frustrated, and then you give up. But if you set that small, realistic goal that you can attain, you're more likely to stick with it. Even writing down your goals, keeping it in front of you. So if it's putting it on your refrigerator, putting it on your phone as your wallpaper, leaving a note by your bed, whatever it is, at least if you constantly see it, you become more aware of it versus just saying, okay, I want to start eating 5 fruits and vegetables a day, and it's in your head. You're most likely not going to reach that goal. So it's better to write everything down however you like to do it. So if it's in an app or writing it on paper, it's better to be able to see it and do it that way. But small goals, whatever it is, it's better than doing nothing. So even if it is exercise, okay, I want to start exercising 1 day a week. Hey, that's one more day that you're exercising that you did before.
So this would be like having a food type of journal or something like that, right?
You could, whatever works for you. I mean, if some people are good at keeping journals of what they're eating or their exercise, that's great. But it does really help. It keeps you motivated because I don't know why, but we like to check things off or, cross things off a list. But if we see it and we're like, okay, this week today I ate my 3 vegetables, and you check it off, you feel more accomplished that you did something. And it's, looking back too of where you've come from. It's not always about weight, weight comes from eating healthy. Instead of focusing on weight loss or whatever it is, you want to focus on those small little nutritional goals. I think that's more helpful than saying I want to lose 5 pounds this week or, 20 pounds by the end of the year. It's better to set the food goals.
That makes a lot of sense. So, Stacy.
And it's less stressful.
Yeah. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Yeah.
And the doctors don't help. Not all, but, I have clients who call me and say, well, my doctor told me I need to lose 20 pounds by the next time I see him. And that's not nice. That's not fair. That's, it might be the truth that they need to lose 20 pounds. However, that's going to get someone frustrated, or that could cause an eating disorder too. So instead of focusing on the number on the scale, because the number on the scale isn't fair either, because let's just take 2 people, for example, and they're both 300 pounds, right? They're both 5'5", 300 pounds. One of them sits on the couch and eats donuts all day. However, the other one is a football player. Those people, their BMIs are going to be obese. However, the football player is all muscle, not fat. How could you compare those 2 things? So if you do go to a gym, they do body fat analysis, find out how much fat you have in your body, how much muscle you have in your body, because the number on the scale doesn't tell you the whole picture. And we don't, yes, you could lose weight. Some people lose, 3 pounds in a day and they're so excited, but it's not fat that they lost, it's water. So we want to take into account that too. And it's not just a number on a scale. I hate scales. I think everyone.
So do I.
It's not fair. It's not right.
It's too much pressure. I used to become so obsessed that I would get on the scale every single morning. And I just finally had to say, no, I can't do it to myself. So I had to stop.
Yeah, because you get on the scale, and if it's not the number that you expect in your head, that's going to make or break your day. Because if you go on it and it's not a number that you like, sometimes you get off on a bad mood, and that's how you're starting your day. That's not...
Exactly.
Day off happy and not worried about a number. What's the number going to do?
Yes. Exactly.
It shouldn't make you happy or sad. Let's
right.
just go. It's better to look in the mirror and say, I feel good. I look good, versus letting a number control your life.
Exactly. So, Stacy, I see you have a wealth of information about nutrition. How did you even get involved with cancer nutrition and coaching? And what services do you offer?
Yeah, so when I'm from New York originally. I moved down to Florida, and I was working in a nursing home, and it was time to, find a job in a hospital. And I remember calling the manager. They wanted to hire me, and she told me, we're going to put you on the oncology floor. And, at that time, I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, I should really know what oncology meant. So I looked it up, and it said cancer, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could do that, cancer and nutrition. And I thought the same thing, let someone with cancer eat what they want. But as I got into it, I realized how nutrition is so important during cancer. I fell in love with it, and I knew that it's what brings me joy. This is what I love helping people with while they're going through treatment or after treatment. And I work part-time in a cancer center, and I see what goes on there, and, I decided that there are some cancer centers and facilities that don't have dietitians, and I can't imagine someone going through treatment not having a dietitian by their side to help them through it. They shouldn't have to go through it alone. There are websites, I know everybody does. I do it too. My family does it. When you get diagnosed with something, or if someone tells you something's wrong with you, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to Google it and see, all about it, which is awful because there's so much information out there. Anyone could have a website. Anyone could, have a blog, and you don't know what's true or not. So my job is to work with people and give them the accurate information and not drive them crazy of all the information out there. I mean, the things that I've heard of what people with cancer should not be eating, it's insane. So that's what got me involved in starting my own business, coaching business with people with cancer. And I always loved cooking. So while I was working at the hospital, I went to culinary school. And so I love teaching people how to cook healthy. And food shouldn't be boring. Food should be flavorful. Everyone, I don't like broccoli because it doesn't taste good. You're right. Let's add things to it, or cook it in a different way to make things flavorful and should be fun. So that's what my business is, helping people learn how to cook healthy, make it fun, make it delicious, because life's too short. Seriously. Our food should be delicious. It shouldn't be boring. You shouldn't hate what you're eating. But you could find me on Instagram. My Instagram is cancer.nutrition.coach. I have a Facebook group, the Plant Focused Cancer Fighting Kitchen. But I love social media. I got addicted to Clubhouse. I think this platform is really, really, really cool and fun, and you learn so much. But even with this, you have to take it with a grain of salt and see where things are coming from and who's talking. But I do work with people one-on-one. I do meal planning, give recipes, grocery lists to help people with the whole meal planning avenue. Work with one-on-one and group sessions. So it's been a lot of fun. This world is crazy, but it's good.
Thank you so much, Stacy. I just had a thought. I think we need to have you do a show where you do some recipes or something like that.
Yeah, I love doing cooking demos. It's so much fun. Just, life, we have a friend who's getting meal delivered from some weight loss company. I don't even know. But he's like, the food is awful, but I'm losing weight. I'm like, dude, life is too short. Why are you eating food that tastes like cardboard? There are easy ways to make healthy meals. Like, seriously, the food should be delicious. Like, you should look forward to mealtime. It should taste good. One of my pet peeves.
So, lastly, Stacy, any other words of advice for those of us that have been struggling, going, just through poor eating habits because of cancer, because of our treatment or after treatment? So any final words?
Yeah, take one day at a time. That's all we got. The small little goals, and also ask for help if you are struggling or, you have no energy to cook. Ask family and friends to help. If they want to help you, that's the best thing to ask them to do, because that's what people love doing. They love helping each other. So if you're asking friends and family to cook for you, at least you have healthy meals in the freezer, So it's okay to ask for help, but it's getting the healthy foods in and making it delicious and fun.
Thank you so much, Stacy. You have been listening to Boob Talk, and I'm your host, Cynthia Rogers. And so tonight we've had a very informative discussion about nutrition for cancer survivors and others with a special guest, Stacy Davis, cancer dietitian and cancer nutrition coach. So I encourage anyone, if you have any questions about cancer nutrition or need some motivation, please reach out to her. We are what we eat, and let's get on the path to healthy eating.
This episode of Boob Talk is brought to you by Niche's World, the Niche Hair Scarf Wig. It's the most comfortable wig that all women will love. Every hair scarf wig sold helps generate another hair scarf wig to be donated to a cancer patient who needs it. Miss Sipo, the owner, created the niche in memory of her beloved granddaughter Nisha, who lost her battle with cancer. For more information and to purchase a hair scarf wig, go to nichesworld.com. That's NIESHS world.com.
You have been listening to Boob Talk with your host, Cynthia Rogers. Remember, never give up hope.